12.1 Meaning and Definition of Negotiation. What is negotiation? Negotiation is a problem solving method that helps two parties reach a common decision by sorting out their differences. Origin of the word: it comes from two Latin words, neg equals not, otium equals ease or leisure. Where is negotiation used? Negotiation is not just for business. It is used in parenting, legal issues, industrial disputes. Why is negotiation important? When two parties don't agree or can't get what they want, negotiation helps in finding a fair solution, mutual agreement between both parties, maximizing satisfaction for both sides. Definitions of negotiation. Robert Fisher and William Ury, negotiation is a basic means of getting what you want from others. Negotiation is a process where parties discuss and agree on a mutual decision. Negotiating is getting the best terms once the other side acts on their interest. Negotiation is achieving one's goals in every relationship. Negotiation is the knowledge of how to gain favor from others. Trick word: noble. N, negotiation is a problem-solving method. O, origin from Latin words neg and otium. B, both parties benefit from a fair decision. L, legal issues and life situations also need negotiation. E, examples: business, parenting, law, industry. Remember, noble, negotiation is for everyone and helps in mutual agreement. Of negotiation. Negotiation has several key features that make it an effective problem-solving process. 1. Multiple parties. Negotiation involves two or more parties who need to reach a mutually agreed decision. The discussion is voluntary and aims to resolve disputes. Example: a company and a labor union negotiating salary increments. Clash of interests. Each party has different interests. One party's gain may result in another party's loss. A middle path should be chosen for a win-win solution. Example: a buyer wants a lower price, but a seller wants a higher price. They negotiate a fair deal. 3. Voluntary in nature. Negotiation happens by choice, not by force. Both parties negotiate because they believe it will give them a better deal than just accepting an offer. Example: employees choose to negotiate better working conditions instead of accepting company policies as they are. 4. Mutual adjustment. Negotiation is a give-and-take process. Initially, there may be strong arguments, but eventually, both parties adjust to reach a fair solution. Example: a football player wants a higher salary. While the club has a budget limit, they negotiate a salary with incentives. 5. Satisfying mutual needs. Both parties have interdependent needs. The success of negotiation depends on how well these needs are met. Example: a supplier needs a long-term contract. While a retailer needs a stable supply, both benefit from negotiation. 6. Use of strategies and tactics. Negotiation requires planned strategies. These strategies help to influence the other party but are not manipulative. Example: a lawyer carefully prepares arguments and evidence before negotiating in court. 7. Controlling intangibles and tangibles. Tangibles was prices, terms, agreements. Intangibles: reputation, toughness, winning mindset. Both must be balanced for successful negotiation. Example: a business deal not only involves money, but also brand reputation and goodwill. Trick word: MVC, some see multiple parties involved in negotiation. V, voluntary discussion, not forced. C, clash of interests is always present. Satisfying mutual needs is key. U, use of strategies to influence decision. Mutual adjustment to reach a fair deal. C. Controlling tangibles and intangibles for success. Remember, MVC Sum C, negotiation needs a smart balance. Negotiation can be classified into two main types based on stability and approach. One, distributive negotiation, also called competitive negotiation or win-lose bargaining. The goal is to get the maximum share of limited resources. One party's win means the other loses completely. Relationships are not prioritized. It's all about personal gain. Example, two companies bidding for a government contract. Only one wins and the other loses. Types of distributive negotiation. Zero sum, one wins, the other loses. Win and lose, one party celebrates, the other feels betrayed. Substance only, focus is purely on money and material, not relationships. Unimportant relationship, maintaining goodwill is not a concern. Integrative negotiation, also known as collaborative negotiation or win-win bargaining, focuses on both relationships and mutual benefits. Parties work together to create a solution that benefits both. Even if one party gives up a little, no one suffers a total loss. Example, business partners negotiating profit sharing both agree on a fair deal. Approaches of integrative negotiation: win-win, expanding the stake so both parties benefit. Fair process, ensuring justice and satisfaction for both sides. Joint problem solving, parties collaborate to find the best solution. Deep, distributive negotiation, WNUS, win and lose situation. Integrative negotiation, win-win, fair process for both parties. Unimportant relationship in competitive negotiation. J, joint problem solving for mutual benefit. Remember, DWIF equal, choose the right negotiation approach. Difference between distributive and integrative negotiation. The table below highlights the key differences between distributive negotiation and integrative negotiation. 1. Relationship. Distributive, short-term, no concern for future relations. Integrative, long-term, focuses on maintaining relationships. 2. Consideration. Distributive, focuses on individual gain. Integrative, benefits all parties involved. 3. Atmosphere. Distributive, disbelief and lack of trust. Integrative, trustworthy and cooperative. 4. Focus. Distributive, positions, what I want. Integrative, concerns, what we both need. 5. Aim to gain. Distributive, winning at any cost. Integrative, mutual agreement and fairness. 6. Information sharing. Distributive, obscured and hidden. Integrative, open and transparent. 7. Strategy. Distributive, win-oriented. Integrative, fairness and consensus-oriented. 8. Tactics. Distributive, uses pressure and trickery. Integrative, based on fairness, equity, and justice. 9. Outcome. Distributive, win-lose situation. Integrative, win-win for all. Trick word, arcatist. Relationship, short, long. C, consideration. Individual, all parties. Atmosphere, disbelief, trustworthy. Pressure and trickery. Fairness and justice. 5. Positions, concerns. Outcome, win-lose, win-win. I, information, obscured, shared. Strategy, win-oriented, consensus-oriented. T to gain, winning mutual agreement. Remember, RCAT voice compare negotiations easily. Negotiation process. The negotiation process follows a structured path to reach a final agreement. It consists of 5 key stages. 1. Preparation and planning. Understand the nature of the dispute. Identify parties involved. Analyze viewpoints and expectations. Define clear objectives. Create a documented plan to stay focused. Example: before salary negotiations, an employee researches market salaries and prepares arguments. Definition of ground rules. Set rules and procedures for negotiation. Establish venue, time limits, and key issues. Decide how to handle a deadlock situation. Exchange agendas between parties. Example: in a business merger, companies agree on a timeline and discussion topics before negotiations start. Clarification and justification. Support demands with logic and facts. Explain needs in a convincing manner. Avoid conflicts and focus on understanding each other. Exchange documents for clarity. Example: a supplier justifies price increases due to rising raw material costs. 4. Bargaining and problem solving. Concessions are exchanged to reach a mutual agreement. Balance interests of both parties. Compromises are made to resolve issues. Example: a buyer and seller negotiate discounts and delivery schedules for a large order. 5. Closure and implementation. Formal agreement is documented. Execution plans are made. Some agreements require contracts, while others end with a handshake. Example: an HR manager finalizes a job offer and signs the employment contract. Trick word: PDCBC. P. Preparation and planning, research and set goals. D. Definition of ground rules, decide rules. C. Clarification and justification, and justify. B. Bargaining and problem solving, compromise and negotiate. Closure and implementation, final agreement. Remember, PDCBC equals negotiation in order. Negotiation skills. A skilled negotiator needs various abilities to analyze, communicate, and resolve conflicts effectively. Let's go through the key skills needed for successful negotiation. 1. Analytical skills. Helps in understanding problems and interests of parties. Enables a negotiator to find a favorable outcome. Example: in salary negotiations, HR analyzes wage trends to find a middle ground. 2. Preparatory skills. Negotiators define goals and issues before the meeting. They review past negotiations to understand patterns. Example: a lawyer studies past court settlements before negotiating a case. 3. Listening skills. Essential for understanding both verbal and nonverbal cues. Helps in identifying common ground. Example: a salesperson listens to a client's needs before making an offer. 4. Emotionally strong. A negotiator must control emotions and stay professional. Prevents frustration and impulsive decisions. Example: a union leader keeps calm even after multiple pay raise rejections. 5. Verbal communication skills. Ability to clearly present and justify arguments. Prevents misunderstandings and misconceptions. Example: a politician effectively debates to influence policies. 6. Cooperative and team skills. Negotiation is a team effort, not a battle. The aim is to reach a win-win situation. Example: a business merger requires both companies to cooperate for success. 7. Problem-solving skills. Helps find multiple solutions instead of just one. Useful for handling communication gaps and disputes. Example: a manager resolves employee conflicts by suggesting alternative solutions. 8. Decision-making skills. A negotiator must make quick and firm decisions. Prevents negotiation deadlocks. Example: a CEO finalizes a deal in a high-stakes business meeting. 9. Interpersonal skills. Builds good relationships with all parties. Patience and politeness lead to positive results. Example: a diplomat maintains friendly ties even in tough negotiations. Ethics and trustworthiness. Creates trust so all parties follow the agreement. Ensures commitment to promises. Example, a real estate agent keeps deals transparent for client trust. Trick word, APLEVCPDIE, analytical, study and understand. P, preparatory, plan and research. Listening, hear and understand. E, emotionally strong, stay calm. V, verbal communication, speak clearly. C, cooperative, work together. P, problem solving, find solutions. D, decision making, act quickly. I, interpersonal, build relations. E, ethics and trustworthiness, stay honest. Remember, Apple VCP DIE, essential negotiation skills. Importance of negotiation. Negotiation plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts, improving relationships, and making better decisions. Let's break it down. S1. Resolves conflict. Fine. Conflicts arise due to differences in interests or needs. Effective negotiation helps boost employee morale and increases productivity. It also reduces employee turnover by creating a positive work environment. Example, a dispute over salary hikes between employees and management can be resolved through negotiation, leading to a win-win situation. #2, cost effective. Proper negotiation reduces unnecessary costs by avoiding bad contracts. Saves legal expenses on arbitration for conflict resolution. Example, a company negotiating better supplier terms can cut costs and increase profit margins. 3, strengthens relationships. Negotiation brings people together by exchanging ideas and thoughts. It builds mutual trust between parties. Example, two business partners discussing their roles and responsibilities clearly can avoid future misunderstandings. 4, competitive advantage. Helps identify better strategies to improve work processes. When external parties are involved, negotiation leads to a synergic effect, joint efforts producing better results. Example, a company negotiating with suppliers for bulk discounts gains a cost advantage over competitors. 5, problem-solving skills. Encourages discussion to find the best solutions. Maintains a positive work atmosphere while resolving disputes. Example, if two teams argue over project deadlines, negotiation can help reach a compromise that works for both. 6, finding common ground. Helps resolve conflicts amicably without hostility. Prevents negativity at the workplace by encouraging flexibility and compromise. Example, employees negotiating work-from-home policies ensure a balanced decision that suits both management and staff. Trick word, RCS resolves conflict, strengthens relationships, cost effective, helps in problem solving, provides competitive advantage. Use this word to quickly recall the importance of negotiation. Conflict. Conflict happens when people or groups disagree, argue, or have opposing interests. It can create tension in an organization if not managed properly. #1. Meaning of conflict. Conflict involves anger, opposition, and misunderstandings between individuals or groups. It occurs due to differences in opinions, work allocation, resources, or goals. Conflict can happen within an organization, between organizations, or with external parties. Example, two departments fighting over budget allocation because both need more funds. Definitions of conflict. Joe Kelly, conflict is an opposition or dispute between persons, groups, or ideas. Conflict is the appearance of difference of opinions or interests. Peterson, conflict is an interpersonal process where one person's actions interfere with another's. Conflict is when a person, unit, or group deliberately blocks others, causing frustration in achieving goals or interests. Trick word MDF, meaning frustration, process. Use this trick to quickly recall the key points about conflict. Nature of conflict. Conflict has different characteristics that define how it affects individuals and organizations. Below are the key features of conflict. 1. Conflicts are unavoidable. Conflicts cannot be avoided because people have different opinions, goals, and viewpoints. A manager's role is to act as a mediator and resolve conflicts effectively. Example, Two employees arguing over different work methods. Conflicts are generally small. Most conflicts are minor misunderstandings but can escalate if ignored. Timely resolution prevents small issues from turning into big disputes. Example: a small disagreement over meeting schedules turns into a major team conflict. Conflicts have multiple dimensions. Conflicts are complex and involve power struggles. They create imbalance and uncertainty, leading to an unstable situation. Example: a senior manager and a junior employee clashing over decision making authority. 4. Conflicts involve searching for balance. Conflict is a process of pushing and pulling power. Power is the ability to influence, and conflict is a way to gain or balance power. Example: two teams competing for a project and trying to prove their capabilities. 5 conflicts are pervasive. Conflicts exist everywhere and affect personal growth, relationships, and success. Conflict can either build or destroy an organization based on how it is managed. Example: a company faces internal conflicts due to policy changes. And that's 6. Conflicts are disturbing. Conflict disrupts the workflow and affects teamwork. If employees refuse to cooperate, it can damage productivity and business performance. Example: a toxic work environment where employees constantly fight instead of working together. 7. Conflicts involve discrepancies. Conflicts arise due to differences in facts, different interpretations of data, or incomplete information. Example: two managers arguing over financial reports due to incorrect data. Goals: departments may have conflicting objectives. Example: the marketing team wants more advertising, but finance wants cost cutting. Methods: disagreements on how to complete a task. Example: employees debating between traditional and digital marketing. Values: differences in ethics, justice, and fairness. Example: an ethical debate on labor wages within a company. Trick word: UPB, unavoidable, pervasive, balance, disturbing multiple discrepancies. Use this trick to quickly recall the 7 key features of conflict. Sources, bases of conflict in organizations. Conflicts arise due to various reasons in an organization. Let's break it down in a simple and fun way. 1. Organizational change. What happens? People have different opinions on how things should be done. New rules, methods, and technologies create disagreements. Frequent changes can lead to resistance and clashes. Example: a company shifts from manual work to automation, but some employees resist as they fear losing jobs. 2. Personality conflict. What happens? People have different thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Strong personalities might clash, can lead to both conflicts and creative problem solving. Example: one employee is super strict about deadlines, while another is more relaxed. They may argue over work pace. 3. Difference in values. What happens? Beliefs and ethics vary from person to person. Disagreements can be difficult to resolve. Easier to solve work-related disputes than personal value clashes. Example: one manager believes in aggressive sales tactics, while another values customer relationships. This leads to conflicts. 4. Danger to status. What happens? Social rank matters to many people. If someone feels their importance is threatened, conflicts arise. Example: a junior employee gets praised more than a senior one, causing jealousy and disputes. F5. Different perceptions. What happens? Past experiences shape how people see things. People expect others to think the same way, but they don't. Misunderstandings lead to conflicts. Example: a team member thinks working late shows dedication, while another believes work-life balance is more important. 6. Lack of trust. What happens? Trust is the foundation of teamwork. If trust is broken, conflicts arise quickly. Mistrust can be based on real or imagined issues. Example: A manager secretly changes project plans without informing the team. Employees feel betrayed and refuse to cooperate. 7. Interdepartmental disputes. What happens? Departments fight over resources, power, or recognition. Reasons include territory, feeling another team is interfering; prestige, believing others take undeserved credit; poaching, losing members to other teams. Example: marketing team takes credit for high sales, but the sales team argues it was their effort. 8. Job-related issues. What happens? Job versus employee. Overqualified workers feel underused. Job versus organization. Company lacks growth opportunities. Employee versus organization. Work culture, wages, and management issues. Example: a talented engineer stuck in a repetitive role feels demotivated and frustrated. 9. Other agendas. What happens? Hidden motives and secondary issues cause conflicts. Happens in unclear or poorly managed organizations. Example: a senior employee delays a project to make another team look bad. Trick word to remember. Breakdown. Personality conflict. O. Organizational change. D. Different perceptions. D. Danger to status. I. Interdepartmental disputes. L. Lack of trust. T. Job-related issues. J. Difference in values. I. Other agendas. Quick summary. Conflict happens due to changes, different values, personalities, trust issues, job roles, and hidden motives. Departments and status concerns also create tension. Conflicts can be negative, but also bring growth and innovation. Memorize trick word? Hope this makes it super easy for you. Let me know if you need any modifications. Types levels of conflict. Conflict occurs at different levels within an organization. Let's break it down simply with bold examples, gestures, and emojis. Auto 1. Individual level conflict. What happens? A person struggles within themselves over decisions, values, or goals. Stress, anxiety, and confusion occur due to internal dilemmas. Example: a manager is offered a higher paying job but feels guilty about leaving their current team. 2. Group level conflict. What happens? Conflict arises between individuals in the same group or team. Differences in opinions, roles, or working styles create tension. Example: two employees disagree on how to complete a project, leading to delays. 3. Organizational level conflict. What happens? Clashes occur due to company-wide policies, structure, or culture. Can be between different departments or with management decisions. Example: the finance team cuts costs, but the marketing team needs more budget for promotions. 4. Intra-individual conflict. What happens? A person has conflicting thoughts or emotions within themselves. Happens when personal values clash with job demands. Example: a doctor is asked to increase patient visits for profit, but wants to prioritize quality care. 5. Interindividual conflict. What happens? Conflict between two individuals in an organization. Can be due to personality clashes, misunderstandings, or competition. Example: two salespeople compete aggressively for the same client, leading to a fight. 6. Intra-group conflict. What happens? Conflict within the same group or department. Can be due to power struggles, responsibilities, or work pressure. Example: a project team fights over leadership roles versus. 7. Intergroup conflict. What happens? Conflict between different groups or teams in an organization. Happens due to competition, resource allocation, or misunderstandings. Example: the HR team and IT team argue about remote work policies. 8. Intra-organizational conflict. What happens? Conflict within an entire organization due to internal policies. Can involve departments, management, and employees. Example, a company introduces a strict work from office rule, but employees want remote work. 9. Interorganizational conflict. What happens? Conflict between different companies or competitors. Can be over market competition, legal disputes, or customer loyalty. Example, Apple and Samsung fight over smartphone technology patents. Trick word to remember. E, A. Breakdown. I, individual level conflict. And G, group level conflict. O, organizational level conflict. I, intra-individual conflict. I, inter-individual conflict. I, intergroup conflict. I, intergroup conflict. I, intra-organizational conflict. Interorganizational conflict. Quick summary. Conflicts can happen within a person, between people, groups, or entire organizations. Some conflicts are internal within a person or team, while others are external, between companies or departments. Understanding conflict levels helps in managing them effectively. Memorize trick word. Hope this makes it easy for you. Conflict. Conflict can occur at different levels in an organization. Here are the main types. 1. Individual level conflict. Every person has needs, and when those are not fulfilled by the organization, conflict arises. Example, an employee wants a promotion, but the company denies it, leading to frustration. Types of individual conflicts. A. Intrapersonal conflict. Conflict within oneself. This happens inside a person's mind due to stress, confusion, or unmet expectations. Causes. Frustration conflict. When goals are blocked. Goal conflict. Two or more conflicting goals. Role conflict. Job expectations versus personal expectations. Example, a manager wants to be friendly with employees, but also has to discipline them. B. Interpersonal conflict between two people. Occurs when two employees or a boss and employee have differences over personal differences, culture, family values, lack of information, miscommunication leads to disputes, role incompatibility, job roles do not align, environmental stress, high pressure competition downsizing. Example, two employees want the same promotion, leading to a rivalry. Trick word to remember, fire, frustration, conflict I, interpersonal conflict, role, conflict E, environmental stress. Fire, conflict starts like fire due to these reasons. Summary, conflict can happen at individual level. It can be intrapersonal, within a person, or interpersonal, between people. Causes include frustration, role issues, miscommunication, stress, and personal differences. Trick word, fire, frustration, interpersonal, role, environmental. Now, conflict is easy to understand. Group level conflict. A group is made up of two or more people who influence each other. Conflicts can occur within a group or between different groups. 1. Intragroup conflict. This is conflict within the same group. When people work together, they create norms, values, and goals. Sometimes these lead to clashes. Common reasons. New problems. When a group faces a new challenge, conflicts arise. New social morals. Society changes, and new values may clash with old ones. Role clashes. A person's group role versus their outside role. Example, a team working on a project has different opinions on how to proceed, leading to disagreements. 2. Intergroup conflict. This happens between two or more groups, versus it is often competitive and can be caused by causes. Resource competition. Scarcity of resources like budget, space, or staff. Task interdependence. One group depends on another to complete tasks. Jurisdiction ambiguity. Overlapping responsibilities lead to confusion. Struggle for status. One group tries to dominate, making others feel inferior. Goal incompatibility. If one group succeeds, another fails. Time conflicts. Different deadlines create clashes. Aggressive tactics. Groups use demands, threats, or pressure to influence others. Example, the HR department may feel undervalued compared to finance or marketing, leading to tension. Trick word to remember: fighting for resources, I, intragroup issues, G, goal incompatibility, H, hierarchy struggles, T, time conflicts. Fight because groups always fight for power, resources, and goals. Summary: group conflicts happen within a group, intergroup, or between groups, intergroup. Common causes include resources, roles, tasks, status, and time issues. Trick word: fight. Fighting for resources, intergroup, goal issues, hierarchy, time problems. Now, group conflict is super easy. Organizational level conflict. An organization is a system where people work together to achieve goals, but sometimes conflicts arise due to different priorities, roles, or interests. These conflicts can happen within the organization, intra-organizational, or between organizations, interorganizational. 1. Intra-organizational conflict. Conflict that happens inside the organization due to different working styles, goals, or misunderstandings. Types. Horizontal conflict happens between employees at the same level. Example, the production team wants to reduce costs while the sales team needs quick deliveries. Their priorities clash, creating tension. Vertical conflict happens between different levels of management, like boss versus employee. Reasons: poor communication, misunderstandings between top and lower levels, different interests. Each level has unique goals, different perceptions. Employees and bosses see things differently. Line and staff conflict happens between line managers, decision makers, and staff specialists, advisors. Example, a finance manager may feel ignored by a marketing head, leading to frustration. 2. Interorganizational conflict. Conflict between two or more organizations due to competition, policies, or laws. Types: same industry conflict. Companies competing for market share. Example, Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. Both want to be number one in the market. Government versus private organizations. Regulations may create conflicts between businesses and authorities. Example, a tech company versus government enforcing strict data laws. Corporate office versus production units. The head office might set rules that the factory finds hard to follow. Example, a company wants to reduce costs, but the factory needs more budget. Trick word to remember: HIT, horizontal conflict, interorganizational conflict, T, task issues, line versus staff, vertical conflict, etc. HIT, because organizational conflicts hit productivity, goals, and harmony. Summary: organizational conflict happens inside intra or between inter-organizations. Common causes: different goals, lack of communication, competition, and authority struggles. Trick word: horizontal, interorganizational, task issues. Now, organizational conflict is super easy. Conflict process. Conflict doesn't just appear suddenly. It follows a step-by-step process where tension builds up and finally explodes. Let's break it down into 5 stages so you can understand it super easily. 1. Latent conflict. Meaning, conflict is waiting to happen but hasn't started yet. Why? Different goals. Dependence on others to complete work. Change in rules, projects, or responsibilities. Example, a team is overloaded with work, but the boss gives them another project. They feel frustrated, but haven't said anything yet. 2. Perceived conflict realization stage. Meaning, people start realizing the problem and worrying about what will happen next. Example: a team member notices that two departments have opposite goals. Marketing wants fast product launches. Production needs more time for quality. They sense a problem but are still unsure if a real conflict exists. 3. Felt conflict, meaning emotions take over. Stress, anger, and irritation build up. What happens? People choose sides. Trust gets weaker. Frustration grows. Example: a team feels ignored in a meeting. They think their ideas are not valued. They stop cooperating. Tension increases. 4. Manifest conflict. Action stage, meaning the conflict explodes into visible actions. What happens? Arguing, blaming, and challenging. Threats or ultimatums. Sometimes even fights. Example: employees argue loudly in a meeting. One blames the other for missing a deadline. The other yells back. The boss has to intervene. 5. Conflict outcome, meaning conflict ends, but the result can be good or bad. What happens? If resolved well, win-win. If not resolved, win-lose or lose-lose. Example: good outcome. Both teams talk, understand, and solve the problem. Bad outcome. One team leaves the company or quits the project. Trick word to remember: LPFMC, latent conflict, hidden, perceived conflict, realized. Felt conflict, emotional, manifest conflict, explodes. Seat, conflict outcome. LPFMC sounds like Life MC because conflict is part of life and needs a master of control C to solve it. Sanchar summary: conflict follows a process from hidden stage to visible fights. Managing it early, better outcomes. Trick word: Life MC, latent, perceived, felt, manifest. Now conflict process is easy to remember. Effects of conflict. Conflict can have both good, positive, and bad, negative effects on people and organizations. Let's understand them easily. Positive effects of conflict. 1. Acts as a motivator. Conflict pushes people to work harder and perform better. It forces them to showcase their skills and prove themselves. Example: in a sales competition, employees fight for the top seller award. This healthy conflict increases their effort. 2. Acts as a need satisfier. Conflict fulfills emotional and psychological needs like self-esteem, dominance, and stress release. Example: arguing with a friend helps you express emotions, and later you feel relieved. 3. Boosts creativity and innovation. Conflict forces people to think differently, leading to new and creative ideas. Example: a disagreement between engineers about product design leads to an even better version of the product. Brings variety in life. If everything is too peaceful, life becomes boring. Conflict adds excitement and breaks the routine. Example: rivalry between two football teams makes matches more thrilling for fans and players. 5. Improves understanding. Conflict clarifies issues and helps people understand each other's perspectives better. Example: a disagreement in an office meeting improves team communication and solves hidden problems. Negative effects of conflict. 1. Insubordination. If conflict is not solved, employees stop respecting the management. Example: workers ignore their boss's orders because they feel the company isn't listening to them. 2. Drop in productivity. If conflict lasts too long, people focus on fighting instead of working. Example: workers spend hours arguing instead of meeting production targets. 3. Lack of direction. Without clear leadership, people don't know what to do, leading to confusion. Example: employees don't understand the company's new policies, and a messy work environment develops. 4. Fragmentation. People split into groups and teamwork breaks down. Example, office employees form cliques and refuse to cooperate, reducing efficiency. 5. Lack of new ideas. People stop brainstorming because they are too focused on the conflict. Example, scientists arguing over credit for an invention stop working on new research. 6. Affects work quality. Conflict makes employees lose interest in their jobs, leading to poor quality work. Example, construction workers distracted by a labor dispute build weak structures that are unsafe. Summary, conflict can motivate and bring innovation, but can also lower productivity and damage relationships. Managing conflict effectively is important for success. Trick word to remember, Milk FD from M-Motivator, A Life Variety, K-Knowledge, Fragmentation, Direction Loss. Now you'll never forget the key effects of conflict. Conflict management. Conflict is unavoidable in workplaces, but not always bad. If managed effectively, it can lead to growth and better teamwork. Let's break it down easily. What is conflict management? Conflict management is the process of planning to reduce conflicts and resolve them smoothly when they arise. It's not about eliminating conflicts completely, but handling them effectively to avoid negative effects. It includes self-awareness about conflict situations, communication skills for better understanding, developing methods to handle different conflicts, neutralizing non-productive situations. Example, imagine two employees arguing over a project. Instead of ignoring it, the manager steps in, listens to both sides, and finds a solution that satisfies both. This is effective conflict management. Why is conflict management important? 1. Prevents workplace chaos. If conflicts go unmanaged, they create stress and affect teamwork. Example, a company without conflict management sees employees fighting instead of working together. Encourages positive growth. Conflict, when handled well, brings fresh ideas and improves relationships. Example, a debate over a marketing strategy leads to a stronger and more creative campaign. Reduces stress and anxiety. Managing conflict properly creates a peaceful work environment. Example, when employees feel safe to express concerns, they work better without stress. 4. Improves teamwork and communication. Conflict resolution teaches employees to listen and understand each other. Example, a manager encourages open discussions so that conflicts don't become personal fights. 5. Increases productivity. Less conflict will more focus on work. Example, a company with good conflict management achieves its goals faster because employees focus on work, not fights. Summary, conflict can't be avoided, but good conflict management makes it a tool for success instead of a problem. Trick word to remember, price. From P Prevention, Relationships, I Improvement, C Communication, Efficiency. Now you'll never forget the key aspects of conflict management. Conflict management procedure. Conflict is a part of life, but if managed well, it can lead to growth and better teamwork. Let's learn conflict management procedures in an easy way. Steps of conflict management. 1. Preliminary step. First, gather all information about the conflict. Identify which stage the conflict is at. Higher stage, more effort needed. Example, if two teams are arguing about a project deadline, first find out when the issue started and how serious it is. 2. Diagnosing the issue. Find out the root cause of the conflict. Look at objectives, rules, values, or misunderstandings that cause the issue. Example, two employees fight because one thinks the other is not working hard, but the real issue? Different work styles. Conflict handling modes. Now that we know the problem, let's handle it in different ways. I. Controlling conflict. Keep things under control by choosing people who think alike to reduce friction. Example, A boss assigns a new project only to those who agree with the plan, avoiding fights. Not allowing conflict to start. Stop frustration before it begins. Keep people loyal to the leader and focused on the goal. Example: a football coach ensures all players respect the captain, so no fights happen. Mediation. A third person, mediator, helps both sides understand each other's views. Focus on strengths and weaknesses of their arguments. Example: a judge settles a divorce case by listening to both sides and giving a fair solution. IV, allowing both sides to prove their point. Best when both sides are strong in their opinions. Each party gets a chance to explain their side before making a decision. Example: in a debate competition, both teams present their arguments before the judges decide the winner. V, mutual problem solving. Both sides compromise a little to reach a win-win solution. Works best when both parties really want a solution. Example: two friends fighting over where to eat finally agree to order half pizza and half burger. Trick word to remember: PDCMAA, preliminary conflict handling modes, mediation, allowing sides. Rearrange to a simple word: PAC-MD, like Pac-Man to solve conflicts. Summary: preliminary step, gather conflict details. Diagnosing the issue, find root cause. Conflict handling modes, controlling conflict. Assign similar people together, not allowing conflict. Avoid frustration and ensure loyalty. Mediation. A neutral person helps solve the issue, allowing both sides to prove their point. Listen to both arguments. Mutual problem solving. Find a win-win solution. Remember, PAC-MD to handle conflicts like a pro. Conflict resolution strategies. Conflicts are unavoidable in life, but don't worry, there are smart strategies to prevent and handle conflicts efficiently. Conflict resolution means solving conflicts in a way that reduces damage, improves relationships, and boosts productivity. Steps to resolve conflict. 1. Developing conflict resolution skills. Learn how to identify, analyze, and resolve conflicts. Build self-awareness about different conflict styles. Example: a manager learns how to calm down arguments between employees. 2. Improving communication. Active listening and expressing concerns clearly are key. Use positive body language and avoid aggressive tones. Example: instead of yelling at a friend, calmly say, "Let's talk and find a solution," using the right conflict management strategies. Kenneth Thomas introduced different ways to handle conflicts based on concern for self. How much do I care about my own needs? Concern for others. How much do I care about their needs? I, accommodating. High concern for others, low concern for self. You let the other person win to maintain peace. Best when relationship matters more than the issue. Example: a friend wants to eat pizza, but you prefer burgers. You agree on pizza to avoid an argument. I, collaborating. High concern for self and others. Both parties work together to find a win-win solution. Takes time and effort, but the best long-term solution. Example: a company and a union negotiate a fair salary that satisfies both sides. Compromising, moderate concern for self and others. Both sides give up something to reach a middle ground. Used when a quick solution is needed. Example: two kids fighting over a toy agree to share it for 10 minutes each. Avoiding, low concern for self and others. You ignore the conflict and hope it goes away. Best when the issue is small or needs time to cool down. Example: you don't reply to an annoying text because it's not worth fighting over. V, competing, high concern for self, low concern for others. You fight to win. Used when the issue is urgent or critical. Example: a lawyer aggressively defends their client in court. Trick word to remember: accommodating, elaborating, competing, avoiding. Rearranged into an easy word: skaka. Sounds like Cock, a reminder of different strategies. Summary. Conflict resolution skills. Learn to analyze and resolve conflicts. Improve communication. Listen and express clearly. Conflict handling strategies. Accommodating. Let the other person win. Collaborating. Work together for a win-win. Compromising. Find a middle ground. Avoiding. Ignore minor conflicts. Competing. Fight to win in urgent cases. Remember, CAC got to handle conflicts like a pro. Conflict management strategy, avoiding withdrawal. Avoiding strategy means staying away from conflict instead of directly addressing it. It shows low assertiveness, not standing up for oneself, and low cooperation, not helping the other person. The conflict still exists, but both sides ignore it to avoid stress. Example: imagine two friends fighting over who will wash the dishes. Instead of arguing, both walk away and leave the dishes unwashed. Advantages of avoiding strategy. 1. No direct conflicts. Since no one talks about the problem, fights don't happen. Useful when the issue is minor and not worth arguing about. Example: ignoring a colleague's rude comment instead of arguing back puts pressure on the other side. When one side avoids the conflict, the other side may feel forced to make a decision. Example: if an employee avoids a salary negotiation, the employer might feel pressured to offer a raise. 3. Forces the other party to take action. The opponent must now decide what to do. Example: a football coach refuses to argue with a player, making the player apologize on his own. Sometimes, avoiding conflict temporarily helps to think clearly before making a decision. Example: taking a deep breath before replying to an angry customer. Disadvantages of avoiding strategy. 1. Problems get worse over time. Ignoring issues won't make them disappear. They grow bigger. Example: a company ignores employee complaints about low pay, leading to a strike. Gives control to the other party. If you avoid the issue, the other side takes control of the situation. Example: if a country avoids a political debate, the opposing party makes all the decisions. 3. Can become unethical. Avoiding a problem too much may lead to dishonesty or injustice. Example: a manager ignores employee discrimination complaints, allowing unfair treatment to continue. Trick word to remember: NPB, FGCU. Conflicts, P. Rescher buys time, force action, gets worse, control lost, unethical. Rearranged into an easy word: big fun, because avoiding conflict might feel easy, but it's not always the best choice. Summary. Avoiding strategy, ignoring conflict instead of solving it. Good when the issue is small or when you need time to think. Pros: no direct fights, puts pressure, forces action, buys time. Cons: problems grow, control is lost, may become unethical. Remember, big fun to recall avoiding strategy pros and cons. Conflict management strategy, accommodating smoothing. Accommodating strategy means prioritizing others' needs over your own to maintain peace. It involves low assertiveness, not insisting on your way, and high cooperation, helping others. The main idea is to compromise or adjust to resolve conflicts temporarily. Example: if two colleagues want the same project, one agrees to step back to avoid arguments. The project goes on smoothly, but the person stepping back might feel undervalued. Advantages of accommodating strategy. 1. More empathy, less aggression. Encourages understanding and kindness. Reduces tension and fights. Example: a teacher lets a student submit homework late because of a family issue. Quick conflict resolution. Fast and easy way to end conflicts. Best for short-term goals where immediate peace is needed. Example: A manager accepts a worker's leave request even though it causes scheduling issues. 3. Maintains good relationships. Helps build trust and personal acceptance in teams. Example, a friend lets another friend pick the restaurant to avoid arguing. 4. Avoids conflict for peace. If a conflict isn't worth the stress, this strategy keeps everyone happy. Example, a customer complains about slow service and the waiter apologizes instead of arguing. Disadvantages of accommodating strategy. 1. Lower self-esteem and exploitation. The accommodating person may feel weak or undervalued. Others might take advantage of their kindness. Example, a boss always gives extra work to a polite employee who never refuses. 2. Can harm long-term goals. Giving in too much can block personal or business growth. Example, a company agrees to customer demands but suffers losses later. 3. One side's voice is ignored. The accommodating person may not express their needs, leading to future problems. Example, a team accepts a poor decision just to avoid disagreement affecting future work. Trick word to remember. EQMR, long empathy. QWIC, maintain relationships, resolves conflict, low self-esteem, overlooks long-term goals, not heard. Rearranged into an easy word, relax, because accommodating avoids fights but may not be the best long-term solution. On a summary, accommodating strategy adjusting to others' needs for peace. Best when you want quick conflict resolution or to maintain relationships. Pros, more empathy, resolves fast, maintains relationships, avoids tension. Cons, can lower confidence, harm long-term goals, and silence one side. Remember, relax to recall accommodating strategy pros and cons. Conflict management strategy, competing dominance. Competing strategy means focusing on winning at all costs without considering the other party's needs. It is highly assertive, strongly pushing one's interests, and low in cooperation, not working with others. It is used when the situation is a win-lose battle where only one side benefits. Example, a company bidding for a project offers a very low price to beat competitors without worrying about fairness. If they win, the other companies lose. Advantages of competing strategy. 1. Simple and quick decision-making. Best for solving straightforward conflicts where only one issue matters. Example, a judge makes a final decision in court without negotiation. 2. Strong power and authority. If one side has more power, this strategy ensures control over the situation. Example, a boss enforces strict rules to meet company goals. 3. Can be effective if used wisely. When used at the right time, it can help achieve the best outcome. Example, a lawyer aggressively defends a client to win the case. Disadvantages of competing strategy. Focuses only on one issue instead of finding better solutions. Example, a company haggles only on price, ignoring long-term business benefits. 2. Can lead to stalemates and broken relations. If both sides refuse to compromise, it can end negotiations completely. Example, 2 countries arguing over land with no solution in sight. 3. Unrealistic and complex situations. Most conflicts involve many issues, but this strategy focuses only on one. Example, a salary negotiation ignores benefits, work hours, and promotions. 4. Hard to maintain over time. If a person's personality is peaceful, forcing competitiveness feels unnatural. Example, a shy employee struggles to demand a raise aggressively. 5. Unpredictable opponent reaction. If both sides use this approach, it can lead to a bigger conflict. Example, 2 rival companies cut prices aggressively, both suffering losses. Trick word to remember, SIP LHU, I intimidate, powerful, low creativity, hard to sustain, unpredictable, rearranged into an easy word, slip. Because if competing is used poorly, it can lead to slipping into bigger conflicts. Summary: competing strategy equals focuses on winning, ignoring the other party's needs. Best when making quick decisions in powerful positions or in clear win lose cases. Pros: quick results, maintains power, effective in some cases. Cons: no creativity, causes conflicts, hard to sustain. Remember, slip to recall competing strategy pros and cons. Conflict management strategy, compromising. Compromising strategy is a middle path between accommodating, giving in, and competing, fighting for self interest. It requires equal assertiveness and cooperation, meaning both parties give up something to reach an agreement. It works well when both sides respect each other and seek fairness, but may not be effective in power imbalance situations. Example: two employees disagree over a project deadline. Instead of arguing, they agree on an intermediate deadline that works for both. Advantages of compromising strategy: 1. Fairness and respect. Those who use compromising value fairness and see others as equals. They believe no one can get everything, so they seek a fair deal. Example: two friends share the last slice by cutting it equally. 2. Mutual agreement and responsibility. Both sides agree to do their part and solve the conflict together. Example: a couple splits household chores so both feel satisfied. 3. Balanced out, everyone gets something, making it a fair deal for both parties. Example: two businesses agree on a profit sharing model instead of fighting for 100%. Short term solution, long term foundation. It quickly solves small conflicts, allowing time to find better solutions. Example: a country signs a temporary trade deal while negotiating a better one. Disadvantages of compromising strategy: 1. No one is fully happy. Since both sides give up something, no one gets everything they want. Example: a company gives half the salary raise employees asked for, so both sides are unsatisfied. 2. Temporary solution: future conflicts possible. Short-term fixes can lead to future disputes. Example: a political party makes a temporary peace agreement, but the conflict resumes later. 3. Not always possible. If demands are too high, compromise may not work. Example: if a buyer wants a car for free, a dealership cannot meet this demand. 4. Lack of optimal results. Compromising may not give the best solution for complex problems. Example: a business accepts partial funding, but struggles to grow due to lack of full investment. Trick word to remember: FMBT-LNO, airness, mutual agreement, balanced outcome, temporary solution, less chance for both, end-shot always possible, optimal solution lacking. Rearranged into an easy word: float. Compromise helps keep conflicts floating instead of sinking. Summary: compromising strategy, a middle way, where both sides adjust to reach an agreement. Best for quick solutions, fairness, and teamwork. Pros: fair and balanced, mutual agreement, helps future solutions. Cons: no one is fully happy, temporary solutions, may not work for all cases. Remember, float to recall the key points of compromising strategy. Collaboration in conflict management. Collaboration is a win-win strategy where both parties work together to find a solution that benefits everyone. Instead of competing or compromising, collaboration focuses on mutual gain. Key idea: instead of fighting, both sides pool their creative energies to solve the conflict in a way that helps everyone. Advantages of collaborating: stalemate is less likely. Since both parties can make concessions, it's less likely that negotiations will get stuck. Continued relationship is likely. This approach is non-aggressive, allowing both sides to work together in the future. Less stressful. Both parties feel fairly treated, reducing stress and tension. Focus on main issues. Collaboration ensures focus on real problems, not just on winning. Creative solutions. Encourages both sides to think outside the box and come up with better, innovative solutions. Disadvantages of collaborating. Needs an opponent with same strategy. If the other side refuses to collaborate, this strategy may fail. Finite amount of concessions. If too many concessions are made, one side may run out of things to offer. Can seem weak. An aggressive opponent may see collaboration as weakness and take advantage. Vulnerability. If you give too much, others might exploit the situation. Risk of giving too much. If you're too eager for a deal, you might accept less than you deserve. Shortcut trick word. SCFLV. Stalemate to continued relationship, focus, less stress, vulnerable. Final summary. Collaboration is about working together for a win-win result, best for long-term success, but requires trust and balance. Can fail if the other party refuses to cooperate. Remember, collaboration is great when both sides are willing to cooperate. Exercise on conflict management and negotiation. Here are some important questions to test your understanding of conflict management and negotiation. Short answer type questions. 1. State interpersonal conflict. A conflict that happens between two or more individuals due to differences in opinions, goals, or values. 2. Enlist the steps in the conflict process. The conflict process includes A. Latent conflict, tension builds. B. Perceived conflict, parties realize the issue. C. Felt conflict, emotions get involved. D. Manifest conflict, conflict becomes visible. E. Conflict resolution or suppression, handled or ignored. 3. Elaborate collaboration and conflict. Collaboration is a win-win strategy where both sides work together to find a solution. Helps in creative problem solving, but requires time and effort. 4. Write the characteristics of negotiation. Mutual discussion. Give and take process. Aims for agreement can be competitive or cooperative. 5. Differentiate between distributive and integrative negotiation. Distributive negotiation. Integrative negotiation. Win-lose strategy, win-win strategy. Fixed resource sources, expands resources, competitive, cooperative. Focus on one side winning. Focus on both sides gaining. 6. Explain the procedure of conflict management. Identify the conflict. Analyze the cause. Choose a conflict handling strategy. Implement the solution. Monitor and adjust if needed. Long answer type questions. 1. Describe the meaning and nature of conflict. Conflict, a situation where two or more parties have opposing interests. Nature, inevitable in organizations, can be positive or negative, may arise from different causes. 2. What are the various sources of conflict? Personal differences, values and attitudes, resource scarcity, limited benefits, poor communication, misunderstandings, role ambiguity, unclear responsibilities. 3. Highlight the different types of conflict. Interpersonal conflict between individuals, intrapersonal conflict within a person, intergroup conflict between teams, organizational conflict within an organization. 4. Discuss the positive and negative effects of conflict. Positive effects encourages creativity, improves decision-making, builds stronger relationships. Negative effects causes stress, reduces productivity, leads to hostility. 5. Explain the conflict resolution strategies. Avoidance, ignoring the issue, accommodation, one side gives in, competition, one side wins, compromise, both give up something. 6, write the different types of negotiation skills. Why is negotiation important? Negotiation skills: effective communication, problem-solving ability, emotional control. Importance of negotiation: resolves conflicts, builds relationships, leads to better decisions. Hash trick word to remember: SCDCTP script, short answer, characteristics, different types, conflict process, types of conflict, positive and negative effects. Final summary: conflict and negotiation play a key role in management. Understanding conflict types, resolution strategies, and negotiation skills is essential. Using the right approach leads to better teamwork and decision-making. Remember, master conflict, master success. Exercise on conflict management and negotiation. Short answer type questions. 1. State interpersonal conflict. 2. Enlist the steps involved in the conflict process. 3. Elaborate collaboration and conflict. 4. Write the characteristics of negotiation. 5. Differentiate between distributive and integrative negotiation. 6. Explain the procedure of conflict management. Long answer type questions. 1. Describe the meaning of conflict. Also, write the nature of conflict. 2. What are the various sources of conflict? 3. Highlight the different types of conflict. 4. Discuss the positive and negative effects of conflict. 5. Explain the conflict resolution strategies. 6. Write the different types of negotiation skills. Why negotiation is important.